You're listening to the Mental Money Podcast, the show that shows you how to master your mind to maximize your money. This show is for people who love to watch their bank accounts grow while shifting their relationship to money. Without further ado, let's get these insider insights from today's leading expert. Calling all minority entrepreneurs. We're offering a $20,000 grant to help you reach your business goals. The 20K Growth Grant is open now, and applications are being accepted until March 16th, 2023. Don't miss the opportunity to get the funding you need to take your business to the next level. Apply now and let us help you reach your dreams. Welcome to the 2023 Launchpad episode. My greatest wish for you, other than reaching your goal, is to have the mindset and money tools that you need to be successful in this new year. In order to do that, I know that you'll need resources and tools. I want to offer these to you. As an online educator, I don't ever want to make it seem like there's an easy way to make it. This takes a lot of skills compounded on each other. If you are dedicated to the skill acquisition, implementation, and building on those skills, you will win. That is what truly turns into cash. It's kind of like college with the 4-year curriculum. You can't take English 102 unless you take English 101. After that, you'll continue to take courses that will build on your specialization to hopefully work a job that requires the skill set you acquired for the last 4 years. This specialization is meant to increase your market value in the job force. Entrepreneurship works similarly, except your skill acquisition is up to you. If you have a mentor or a podcast like this one, you may be able to streamline the process instead of trying to figure out what you need to do on your own. With that said, let's explore some of the foundational tools you need to set the foundation for your successful year. The faster you heal, the faster you deal. Healing is not a linear process. I can't tell you how to heal, but I will tell you what you need to know. Energy is a very real thing. Where we put our energy is where we will see momentum. This is why healing is such an important part of our process as entrepreneurs. Healing quickly can look like recovering from failures, forgiving yourself for trusting the wrong people or advice along your journey, knowing when to quit or fire yourself, losing the justifications, and ditching self-doubt. Sometimes failures set us back so far we don't even want to try again. I need you to abandon the notion that failure means that you need to abandon that thing completely. Failure offers us one thing: the opportunity to learn from our mistakes. When we learn what went wrong, we are better equipped to deal with those set of circumstances from an elevated point of view. It's not wise to keep doing the same thing over and over again without any new results. However, doing something after learning, improving, and evaluating has exponential returns. This year, I encourage you to create a process around evaluating what didn't work. This could look like getting unbiased feedback from a third party or creating systems around our outcomes. Either way, this will help you determine what didn't go right and start over with a new point of view that could lead to your success. As an entrepreneur, you will have to trust others to get where you're going. Nowadays, with scammers and all other things going on online, including people who just don't want to work, this can be really challenging. It has to happen though. We can't be everything at all times in our business. Outside interference allows us to multiply ourselves and grow. Sometimes that can mean also using a tool that would allow us to get our objectives met as well. Either way, if you find yourself in a situation where you're scared to get burned or you've been burned so many times and you're at your wit's end, this doesn't mean you stop trying. Heal through that by creating operating standards for the people and softwares you choose to engage with. Personally, I write everything out I need the system to accomplish. If it's a person, I have a very clear definition of done. There usually is very little confusion about what my expectations are. Where possible, I ask for proof of previous work or for a demo of a product. Another step I take is getting a review and as much proof as I can from people who have previously engaged with the person or software. Now, let's be clear. There's no perfect person or product on the face of the earth, and the ones that get close to it are going to run your pockets. Knowing what you want in this circumstance will also mean knowing what you're willing to part with in the instance that things don't work out exactly how you want them to. It also means having a backup plan just in case. What it doesn't mean is trying to kill yourself doing it by yourself. The goal is to set yourself up for as close to success as you can. As you become better and better at discerning what works best for you, you'll become a lot more confident handing off what you need done, and the margin of error that comes with trusting the wrong person will largely diminish. Same goes for bad advice, but it's harder to determine if you're getting wrong advice or not. Getting bad advice can set you back a really long time or even have you make costly mistakes that are difficult to recover from. When it comes to getting advice, I think about who the advice serves. At times, the advice we get from others can be biased because there is a motive for someone who's giving it to us. This happens a lot with the podcast. The guests are selling themselves, so the advice they give largely influences their objective of making a sale. To combat that, I let them know that I have a deep respect for my audience, and for the podcast episode to work, there should be actionable advice that pertains to the topic, and if they're selling themselves, it should be organic. I won't even post an episode if it's too salesy for that very reason. The advice is biased, naturally and relatively, but it's still biased. Check the motive. If you feel like you're being sold to or there's something else that muddies the advice, consider this before taking it. Another sign of bad advice is that it doesn't seem to address your particular situation. As business owners, there will be industry-specific information, generalized information, and then business-specific information. Where the advice fits matters. For example, if someone is inquiring about working with me, I will have to give them generalized information or maybe industry-specific information that is like an industry standard or something. I can't give them advice on their particular business until I'm retained because that is a liability for both myself and the prospective client. Think about it. If I haven't dug into their business, how can I soundly and ethically give them advice on their particular business needs? The quality of the advice matters. Even me telling you this right now is suggestive and up for consideration. You're choosing to listen to this. It's general information that I believe every entrepreneur needs to consider going to the new year. There is only one way for me to ensure that the quality is relevant to you. It's by working directly with you in a fiduciary relationship. Lastly, if you walk away from an interaction uncomfortable or with more confusion than you walked in, consider the nature of the advice. I can't speak for everyone, but I'm the clarifying question queen. I want to get down to every nitty-gritty detail, especially if I'm paying or have paid for advice. That said, if there is confusion, err on the side of caution because implementing that advice can have long-lasting and negative impacts on your business. I learned this little trick when I first got into options trading, and it's been a guiding principle I've held close to my chest. When trading options, there's a mechanism you can put in place when executing a trade called a stop loss. It does exactly that, stops your loss. I don't want to get too technical, so I'm going to stop explaining right there. Once I came across this term, I realized I needed to implement stop losses in other places in my life as well. This has been one of the best ways for me to heal quickly when taking a loss. I understand that losses are a native part of doing business, but stop losses allow me to control the bleed. For example, an example of this is deciding early on what's not working. Let's say you're running a Facebook ad. How many days of it running do you decide it's not producing the result you want? It could be a number of clicks, impression, view count, whatever. What have you decided the stop loss point is so you don't lose too much? Now, this one can get tricky because people take one loss and then decide to stop. That's up to you. I personally don't think that's sustainable either, but it does provide a full circle moment and bring us back to the original point. What did you learn? What can you change? How can we quickly recover, try again, and see how we can improve on what didn't work? The stop loss essentially allows you to determine how many times you're going to go through the cycle before you call it quits. The same can be said for when to fire yourself. I will tell you firsthand, I know my strengths, but I also know my weaknesses. As a financial strategist, I understand that I need to have an intimate relationship with my money. That wasn't always the case. There are times I still get overwhelmed. The more money you make, this will ring true. The bigger the project, the bigger the burden. The larger the staff, the more efficient the management. Can you handle it? I'm sure to a certain extent you can, but when more is required, it's time to hire. I really didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm kind of tickled that it did. The best financial decision I made for my business was getting an accountant to comb through my finances. They have a very detached outlook on my finances, and I'm literally hiring them to help me with my financial goals. I'm still involved, but I let the professional handle all the heavy lifting. I have to deal with the big project, so I retain a project manager to do all of the day-to-day breakdowns of what needs to be done and keep everything organized and prioritized. It's easy to get emotionally wrapped up in the project because its completion is up to you. Someone on the outside looking in whose job it is to get that done, that's qualified, will help you when you can't help yourself. That said, managing people works the same. If it's not your strong suit and you realize that your business become a revolving door of people, it's time to outsource that task. This is healing. Recovery looks like putting systems in place to help you get to where you're going as quickly and efficiently as possible. Want to heal even faster? Lose the justifications. I don't want to call them excuses because I know you're an adult and you probably have what seems like legitimate reasons you feel like you can't. The kids need to eat, the bills need to be paid, and you have to take care of yourself. I understand. Justifications, in my opinion, are worse than excuses, though. Justifications come as a result of deciding to take action and then cutting yourself short versus excuses being a laundry list of reasons why you can't do something. I see it so often. You start a project and you tell yourself you're going to write for 3 hours a day until the book is done. Then you only write for 1 hour and tell yourself you're going to make up the rest of the time tomorrow because you wrote 4 hours the day before. So it kind of all evens itself out, right? Side note, this is a personal example of a justification I gave myself so many times, and that's why my book has been taking forever to launch. Justifications are harmful because they only exacerbate self-doubt. You made a promise to yourself and you didn't keep your word with you. If you can't keep your word, even on the smallest things, you will have a hard time being confident in yourself when it comes to the bigger aspects of your life. You know you'll feel better when it's done. You know how great it feels to do what you said you're going to do. So get it done to see the healing in real time. I could have said so much more in the mindset piece, but I'll leave you with a short excerpt I wrote for the Canadian SME magazine for entrepreneurs entering 2023. I want to take a moment to encourage you on your entrepreneurial journey. As an entrepreneur, you have such a unique opportunity. Your ideas and passions shape our world. If ever in doubt, just look around. Someone brought a thought into form, and your surroundings are a constant reminder of just that. Trust that your desire to be an entrepreneur and innovate is part of a need that the world can't live without. Someone is counting on you to count on yourself. Remember that. In the year to come, there will no doubt be challenges and obstacles that you will need to overcome. It is my hope that the downturns don't cause you to lose sight of your vision and passion for your business. Keep your why top of mind. I don't think we talk enough about the power of focus. Find your focus, and when times get tough, double down. There will also be times of celebration and achievement. I hope you take some time to be present in those moments. Lean into the win, whether it be an opportunity, client, or even a compliment. Remember, you deserve it. We have a way of talking ourselves out of achievement and trade it in for a chance to cosplay as an imposter. Take all your wins, and no matter how small they may seem, enjoy them. They are yours. I know our world glorifies hustle culture, but please know it's an illusion. I don't know everything, but I know one thing for sure. There isn't a price for being the person that's most burnt out, tired, stressed, and anxious. Remember, rest is fuel. Keep your tank full to bring your best foot forward. Your body, mind, and bottom line will thank you. I have no doubt 2023 will be a wonderful year full of power and potential. In the words of Paulo Coelho, every day brings with it an eternity. What's done today will leave a thread into the future. See each day as an opportunity to plant a seed into infinity. Best of luck in 2023. Thank you so much for listening to the Mental Money Podcast. Please go ahead and remember to subscribe, but don't hoard all of this good information for yourself. Share this information with someone that you know could use it, especially if they need a shift in their mindset or someone who would love to have more money. So until we meet again, remember, like Uncle Snoop said, keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind.